I'm Mr. B, and today we're talking about a couple of codes that we have on this 2007 B6 Passat wagon. So the codes that we're talking about are a P2187, which is a 08583 Volkswagen code, and a P0506, which is going to be a 01286 code from Volkswagen. And those two codes are related, and they are being caused by the same problem on this 2.0 BPY engine that I have behind us. So these can be indicative of a vacuum leak. So a lot of times if you have an external vacuum leak or something on these cars, you can also get this code, but this is actually being caused by an internal vacuum leak, and I'm going to show you where the problem is, what parts you're going to need, and how to fix it next. All right, first thing we have to do is get this engine cover off. So I'm going to go ahead and take the engine cover off. This just pops off like so. And unplug your mass airflow meter. Pop these clips. Sometimes these will be a little bit difficult to get off. This one is pretty easy. If it's difficult to get off, what you want to do is you want to flip this over and get these rubber things and go ahead and put a little grease right here at those 4 points. And next time you take it off, it'll be easy. And also remember, this is where your air filter is as well. So, you know, when it comes to service time, you're gonna have to take this back off. So re-greasing those really helps things. So once we get that off, I'm gonna show you what you're gonna need to do. So you're gonna need to check for any vacuum leaks that are gonna be present in the system. And I've already done that, external vacuum leaks. So this car has no external vacuum leaks. I have smoke checked the whole car, and I don't see any smoke anywhere. So we have some internal vacuum leaks, and two of the biggest sources of internal vacuum leaks are going to be this valve right here, which acts as the PCV valve, also has an oil separator in it, and this valve, which is the N80 valve, which purges the gas tank and gets all the fumes off the gas tank. So I'm going to show you how to check the N80 valve. There's really no good way to check this. We just remove and replace. It's a fairly inexpensive piece, and I'll show you how to remove and replace that as well. So going over to the N80 valve, N80 valve is turned on by the computer when the car meets a certain scenario, and that is going to, this vacuum line goes directly to the gas tank, and it purges all the hydrocarbons or the fumes that's coming off the raw gas, and that makes sure it doesn't get into the atmosphere. So this valve can hang open, and it can cause a vacuum leak in the gas tank, and it's a pretty common issue on these. So what we can do is take this off. I already got the hose loosened here, and you want to blow through both ends of this, and with no power on it, you should not be able to blow through either end. Okay, if you blow into this, and you can just use your mouth, it's not like it's that nasty. If air goes through either end of this, then you know this is bad, and this is what's causing your lean codes, okay, and your idle codes. So just blow through, and air's not escaping either side of this, so I know at least mechanically that piece is good. So I'm just going to slide this back on. We'll tighten up those clamps here in a minute. And it fits on a little piece right there. I'm going to straighten that out here in a little bit. So the second piece we're looking at is this right here, and this is normally going to cause low idle, which is one of our codes. It's going to cause a lean condition, and it can also cause oil consumption. So if you have any of those issues, I do recommend replacing this. Sometimes it will make a hissing noise if it cracks or goes bad a certain way. This one was not doing that, but it will allow a vacuum leak to the crankshaft, to the crankcase, and that's going to cause a issue. So what we're going to do is remove and replace this valve. I'm going to show y'all how to do that, and then we're going to clear the codes and give a retest to the whole system. Okay, so these are the parts that we're going to need to replace on this car. This is your, sometimes it's called a PCV valve, sometimes it's called an oil separator. It just depends on who you're talking to. And the part number on this, let's see if I can read it here, is 06F129101. Looks like it has a P, vendor code MHS, and real easy. It just has a couple of screws to go on here, and I'm going to show y'all how to remove and replace these screws. And it's got a couple of little clamps, and they just press. They have tabs on that you press and remove. Also going to need a gasket, a little rubber gasket. A lot of times these are, you don't have to replace these, but you may want to get one, especially if your car has a higher mileage on it. You may want to get one of these. And the part number for that is 06F103483 E Echo. So this gasket right here, it's rubber. They do get a little hard, and they will cause leaks there. So you may have like an oil leak or a vacuum leak here on this. So just it's actually a pretty expensive little gasket. I think it's about 20 bucks. But if the car's got over 150,000 miles or so, I would normally replace it. And this is just going to fit basically right here. Maybe, excuse me, right there. That's it. It's going to fit right there in the valve cover, and it's going to seal off this valve. So let's go back over to the car. I'm going to show you how to take this piece off and do it carefully without breaking the hoses. Okay, so the screws right here, this one only has 3. It's missing a screw down here. I'm going to try to find another one to go in here. But you have 1, 2, 3, and then there's one underneath here. But first I'm going to go ahead, they're T25s as well. I'm going to go ahead and get these hoses out of the way. So you have a tab here and here. You just want to press that. And sometimes they're a little aggravating. Let's see if I can get a... Okay, you may want to get a little flathead in here, and this is just manipulating this little area right here, and that is going to remove that. So you can just slide this out of the way, and you have another clamp on this hose right here. Again, a lot of times you just have to be very careful working these off because they break easy. There we go. All right, so now that we got those 2 hoses disconnected, we're going to go ahead and take these three screws out. Like I said, there's supposed to be a 4th one down there. I'm going to see if I can find one to put in there. But we're going to go ahead and remove this. And you can see where that gasket lives back here now. We're going to get the new pieces. So we're just going to, I just cut my nails. Yeah, this gasket is very tough. Let's see if I can get another something to get this out with. Stuck in there pretty good. If you got a hook tool or something, that would be ideal. There we go. And you want replace this gasket in here. See, it does have an upside down, as I just found out. And just like that, just make sure it's even across there. Make sure nothing's hanging out so we don't pinch this. And we grab the new piece. Also, for what it's worth, I just looked. The one that I took off of here is an aftermarket one. It's not a official Volkswagen part. So that may be where the problem's coming from. However, you know, I use aftermarket parts all the time, so it's going to be really, depends on what you're doing, I guess. So we screw these back in. Yeah. And now all we have to do is plug our hoses back up, and you should hear 2 clicks. That actually clicked all together. We will up there. Go ahead and tighten up the clamps on that N80 valve. Once we get this done, we're going to put the engine cover back on, and we are going to clear the codes and give it a good long test drive. Okay guys, just to show you really quickly, I got a busy shop right now, so you may hear a little bit more noise than normal, but Bank 1 System 2 lean, that's the 2187, and then we have the 506, so 08583, and then we have the 01286. So I'm gonna go to diagnose here and just show y'all, this is paired up with a program called ShopKey, and I'm gonna show you kind of what the computer's averaging out fix for that code right there. And as we move forward here, give it a second, it's got to think. So over here is replace positive crankcase ventilation valve, which is what we just replaced. And so normally at about 114,000 miles is where we see the peak at replacement on these, but we have seen them, of course, lower. So just keep that in mind, that this is a very common problem. It's something that we see quite a bit, and it's something that we can fix fairly easily. It doesn't take long to fix this. But if you replace this valve and you're still having an issue, you need to look a little bit closer at the vacuum system and any vacuum leaks that you may have, because a vacuum leak can cause this, and that's what this is a vacuum leak. The little valve in that PCV valve is what's the problem. So it's causing that internal leak and causing our fuel trims to go out of whack, which is throwing the code. Okay, so that about does it for our lean codes. And if you did learn anything, please give me a like on the video and give me a subscribe on the channel. And as always remember to reset your adaptations, give your car a good test drive before you start putting it on the road, just to make sure the repair is stuck and everything is good to go. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I love answering my viewers' questions. And as always, catch me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, VK, any place where you can be, I'm there. So we're gonna go ahead and sign off today. I'm gonna work on another video on the same vehicle, so look for that coming up as well, and we'll see you later on